Good morning, all. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, and I talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic diet, and I talk to others about how they might be able to lose weight, improve their health, and regain control of their lives. Thanks for joining. I'm hopping on a couple of minutes early here today, or a minute or so, just to take some time, if you will bear with me, for me to share this on another couple of places. Thanks for joining. Today's topic is the witching season, and you know what I'm talking about. It is upon us. It's that fourth quarter of every year where, starting about Tuesday, some of us find that the train goes off the tracks, food-wise, and we don't want that to happen. October, November, December, and sometimes into January can be challenging for any type of program where you are looking to lose weight. And let's face it, that there are many ways to lose weight. Restriction of calories, going low fat, move more, eat less, can help, can work for some people. I have found, in my experience, and I have a lifetime of trying to lose weight, as many of us do, I remember my first conversation with Sister Pascal. I was in 4th grade. Made a self-deprecating remark about all the fat I had on my body. 4th grade. What I have found in all the efforts over the years was that the ketogenic diet folds in beautifully with the way my body wants to behave anyway. My experience previously, and I tried them all as you have, was that I was constantly fighting my body and my brain to try to lose weight. Brief history, I had given up on losing weight. I had been really heavy for 30 years, had given up. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes, and I felt I was on the cusp of doing that. I felt that was the next step. All of my blood work was borderline bad, and maybe you can relate to that as well. I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes, and I came across the famous white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman, and it all just fell into place for me. And I never looked back. That was January 8th, 2014. So that was January. By October of that same year, I can tell you that I faced Halloween with no issues. Now, some of you who have had children particularly maybe can say that you never went through their candy bag when they got back, scarfing all your favorites. I cannot say that. I can't say that the candy I would have bought to give out to the little children, that I wasn't happy when it got late enough that I could turn off the lights and unlight the pumpkin and still be left with half a bag of candy. But the October, the Halloween of 2014, after I'd been following the ketogenic diet for some time, wasn't even tempted. And I hosted a Halloween party at my house. I wasn't even tempted. Okay, so you may or may not be there yet. Here's the advice that I would give you. First of all, don't wait until you've got the bowl of candy in front of you to try to decide whether or not you're going to have some. There's certain emotions and states of mind that are very difficult to contend with when you're in the middle of them. Jealousy. If you have a hair trigger and you're an angry person, it's sometimes hard to get in front of the anger. Envy. Things like that. And another one might be eating candy. So if you're faced with a bowl of candy, it's hard. So try to try to just tell yourself, I'm not going to be eating candy this year. Maybe next Halloween I'll eat candy. Maybe at Thanksgiving I'll eat candy or sweets or something. But I'm not going to on this Halloween. It's taking a page from the very successful 12-step programs that help a lot of people. Maybe I'll have a drink tomorrow, but I'm not going to have a drink today. Maybe I'm going to eat carbs this afternoon, but I'm not going to this morning. Along those lines. So, first of all, try to preload your resolve. Same thing for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Although, in my opinion, Thanksgiving and Christmas are a little easier to manage than Halloween. Let's face it. You can always find something keto-friendly to eat at a Thanksgiving meal. You just leave off some things. But whether your family does turkey or duck or goose or prime rib or meatloaf shaped like a turkey, all the things that you do. For years, our family, when my kids were little, we did little Cornish game hens, each one. There's always something you can eat. You just leave off some stuff. Halloween, you're not likely to be handing out pork chops to the neighborhood kids. So that's a little more difficult. But I want you to think about this. Think how powerful you will feel every time you make it through a challenge. This one happens to be a mega challenge because everything's about candy. Think how powerful you'll feel when you make it through and didn't eat one mini Snickers bar. You did not have one bag of peanut M&Ms. You did not have a pixie stick. Because that's when you know one of my favorite phrases, hey, there's a beautiful young lady that just joined. Good morning, beautiful young lady from Portland, Oregon. I don't want to call you out. One of my favorite phrases is, food is not the boss of me. I can say that now. Some days I eat more food than I need, than my energy requires, but I'm never tempted by the food that got me nearly 100 pounds heavier in the first place. We talked about this at a local Greensboro keto support and information meeting. And a beautiful woman who's lost, I think, 60 pounds now, shared that she didn't think she could get through. That she was particularly addicted to sugar. Let me be clear. Everyone is addicted to sugar. It's the way we're wired. And just because your form of sugar is chips or pasta or pizza crust, it's all sugar. And we're all addicted. It is the way we're wired. But this beautiful woman who's lost the 60 pounds, she says after about 2 weeks, not only did she not crave it, she didn't even want it. And after a while, the food begins to look gross to you. It's like a miracle. It's the thing we lay in bed and pray for. When we are overweight, we cry in bed at night. Say, please just can you just make me one of those people that doesn't like, and then fill in the blank, whatever the food is. This is what happens. The key, though, is you have to get off this stuff. Because when you're eating it, it makes you continue want to eat it. It's physiological. Now, that said, if you struggle and you don't quite make it, do not call it cheating. That's a wrong word for this. Cheating is when you screw around on your partner. Cheating is when you look at somebody else's math test and take their work. There's no law or commandment against eating food that is high in carbs. Strive to get through it. If you can't get through it, I'm going to predict that there will be many questions on message to me directly, on the Keto After 40 with Casey Facebook group, on Go Keto with Casey Facebook page, and everywhere else on the interwebs. There are lots of great sources for how to do the ketogenic diet. But on November 1st, there'll be a lot of posts. Ugh, I caved. How do I get back on? The way you get back on is the way you started. The next time you put food in your mouth, leave off the carbs. It's that simple. After I saw that white coat video, that's what I did. It made sense to me. The next time I ate, whether it was that dinner or whatever, I don't even remember, I just didn't eat any carbs. And I mean like none. You know, Dr. Westman said 20 grams of carb or fewer, and I figured, well, 0 is fewer than 20. So I pretty much went with about 0 grams of carbs. And it worked. I wasn't even trying to lose weight. I didn't want to take insulin. I wanted my blood sugar to come down, which it has done. My numbers are perfect. My A1C at my last checkup was 4.7. My glucose was 67. My triglycerides were 56 and my HDL was 98. My blood pressure was 110/72, I think. Perfect. And it's just food. So keep that in mind. Now, Thanksgiving's going to come. Holiday's going to come. The feasts of other religious communities are coming. I know Canada's made it through their Thanksgiving, or has already celebrated their Thanksgiving, and many people to whom I talk in the Patreon community and everything else made it through. You can do this. I'm going to tell you, go look at my before pictures on my blog. Ask my beautiful daughter, who is in here today, and my granddaughter, King. Hi, King. I hope she's saying hi back. Ask my daughter. Was really fat for a really long time, and I mourned the idea that I lost time with my children because I absented myself from a lot of their lives because I removed myself from my life. I'm going to stop talking about this because I'll start to cry. I mourn that. But moving on. I intend to be alive for another good long time, 30, 40 years. As I've said, I know we know that Google can keep us, we'll be 3D printing, new leg joints and kidneys and pancreases and everything. We can stay alive a long time. I want to be alive. I sat at this kitchen counter before I saw that video and thought, well, I know I can stay alive for another 30 years. I just don't know that I want to. Not feeling like this. So anyway, if you look at my before pictures, perfectly round, people say, oh, wow, she's in great shape. And then they could look at me and I could say, I'm in great shape. Round is a shape. I didn't get that way by not eating a lot of carbs. And I liked it. I loved it. I wanted some more of it. And I ate that way my entire life, and it got worse as I got older. If I can resist the foods that made me miserable, you can. You can. Some of you have different challenges than I. I had different challenges than some of you. We're all different. But you could do this. And really the only way to get in front of some challenges is to get in front of the challenge. Now, some we can't see coming. Boom, there's something happens last second. And you have to deal with it. I will tell you that being in the frame of mind I am, and that I have been now for 3.5 years, whatever it is, I deal with challenges better than I did before. My mind is freed up to deal with challenges. I'm less stressed. Some of that might be my advanced age and increased wisdom, but some of it's chemical. And some of it's I'm not thinking about food. Okay, guys. You guys are talking to each other. I really love it when you do that. And I can't quite see what you're saying to each other, so I'm not going to try. And, oh, Tracy Chasen in the house. What did Tracy write? When a baby learns to walk, it falls down. We encourage it to get back up and try again. If you fall, get right back up. Don't stay down there. Absolutely. My friend Tracy, absolutely. I've shared this before. I'd never done the keto before because I didn't know about it. I'm sure the literature was out there, but I didn't know about it. I knew from the time I was in college the low carb worked for me. And I needed a couple of at-bats and misery to get to keto. I do want to recognize Kathy O'Gorman, a new low. Congratulations, Kathy. Is that past your trampoline number, if I recall? That many of us have gotten to a weight before and we bounce back up from it. We discussed this on Patreon. I do want to give a plug for the patrons and patreon.com. It is a community where for a monthly pledge you get access. I want to say people aren't paying to get access to me. They're paying to get access to each other. It has become a very vibrant, supportive community. And I do little morning snippets for anybody at any pledge level. Weekday mornings, it's just little random thoughts. You get to see me without makeup, usually before coffee and sometimes in my silk kimono. But Patreon is a great community. Make your own community. If you need support, if you're not finding what you need online, because let's face it, the groups can become a little cray-cray. I know that Christine Hirschfeld has started her own in-person group up in New York. That's great. I think she held it at a library in a room. We started one here in Greensboro. Lots of people want to start their own groups. Do it. It doesn't cost anything. And sometimes people just want to know what it's all about. And we do need support. Usually we end up not talking about the food. To people I talk to, it's usually not about the food. It's about something else. And it's very gratifying. Kathy O'Gorman writes, group definitely getting cray-cray. And she's talking about, I think, some of the Facebook groups. Or maybe the Keto After 40 with Casey Facebook group. Jennifer, good morning, squirrel. Jennifer, I hope you're back from the West Coast. I can't keep your travel plans straight. For those of you who are kind enough to inquire, my lovely mate will return Friday. Not a minute too soon. He and I are going to have a conversation about the next time he goes. It does not need to be for this long. I'm lonely. So, anyway, does anyone have anything that they want to share or challenges, or how are you guys going to deal with Halloween if you celebrate it, and the coming holidays? I'm not going to be here. I'm not handing out candy. Our neighborhood is now full of children, which is great, but I can't in good conscience hand out candy, really. And I could hand out pencils or stickers or toothbrushes. But frankly, I'm going to go over to a friend's house and have some cocktails. So my house will be dark, and I won't be handing out candy. There isn't any in the house. Thanksgiving will be different this year because our beautiful Portland family is heading this way, heading eastward, and we are awaiting the birth of our next grandchild, due the 21st of November. So we're going to have a different Thanksgiving season. And who knows what we'll do for Christmas. Maybe we'll go to the Caribbean. I don't know. We'll see what happens. One of the benefits of growing older, your life becomes a little bit more of your own. So what are you guys doing? Yeah, we bought Play-Doh. Hey, that's a great idea, Play-Doh. What a great suggestion. Thank you for sharing that. Challenges. I get stuck all the time. I lost 26 pounds here and then I can't get past it. You know, a lot of times I think, and we talked about this on the Patreon live stream. I think many of us have a number in our head. It could be associated with something semi-traumatic or flat out traumatic. It's a weight we weighed when something happened. when something changed in our lives. It's a weight we weighed when someone said something to us that cut us deeply. Or it just could be the weight we kind of have lost to when we have restricted calories or tried the low fat or tried the biggest loser diet. And then those diets kind of fail because they're kind of designed to fail. Not for nothing. For most of us. And maybe we just think, well, I equate it to having your heart broken. You know, it's like I used to have all these boyfriends, and each one of them broke my heart, and I thought each one was the one, or shouldn't just talk to women, a love interest, and I thought each one was the love interest. This was the one. And then your heart gets broken, because that happens. And so you do find the one, and you struggle against wanting to believe it could be true, because you don't want your heart broken again, so you break up with the one before that one can break up with you. And I think sometimes we do that on diets. We don't want to be disappointed again. And it's beyond disappointment when you've tried and tried and tried. It's heartbreaking to make some progress on a diet, and then the diet breaks your heart. This one will not break your heart if you just stick with it. Don't focus on the scale. Focus on the victories of not taking insulin for diabetes, getting off of metformin, getting off of acid reflux medications, not being depressed clinically and chronically, your joints not hurting, getting up off the sofa without making a sound. Like I used to get off the sofa and go, "Urgh." You know, it was a grunt. Not needing an afternoon nap. Losing inches without losing weight is a thing. Enjoy it. If the scale bothers you, get rid of the scale. If measuring for ketones bugs you, don't do it. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to spend any money to make yourself a success. Our grocery bill has gone way down, and it's not just because it's the two of us. It's because our food, while more expensive to buy a full ribeye than to buy a case of cereal, is more valuable. The calories are more valuable, right? I mean, if you want to get more energy, you want valuable calories. So you don't have to spend anything extra. I like to occasionally test for my ketones. I've not been out of ketosis yet. I did a little review of the Keto Mojo. Not a sponsor. I do not engage in the affiliate links to get the Keto Mojo. Some others do, and that's cool. You can just read my review. I like the guy. I'd like to send business his way. My blood glucose is good. But you don't need to do anything. And let me say this. If you think you might have kicked yourself out of ketosis, you probably did. If you're asking yourself the question, if your cravings are coming back, if you're having intrusive thoughts of food, if you puff up, that can be. Patricia Fields Newbert, coolest woman, helicopter pilot. I always love that. Valuable equates to quality. Correct. All right, guys. This has been great. I'm so glad you guys showed up. And I want to say goodbye to King. I know King might be saying back, if she's even still watching. She probably is being entertained watching something more interesting than her white-haired grandmother. Maybe we can talk later, y'all. Bye, Lindsay Bug. And I will refer you guys to my daughter's shop if she wants it, for the You Can and You Will plaque that you are welcome to purchase. Lindsay, if you're still here, will you please type in the address for your shop? Okay, Lindsay writes that, smiling back at, okay, King. Tappy, 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 done. And Nancy will be back soon. Okay, guys, Lindsay, write in the name of your shop. Again, not an affiliate link. I just like to send business to my daughter, because that's a great sentiment. You can and you will. Luz, gracias. Siempre está aquí. Muchas gracias, Luz. Okay, guys, remember, you can get through Halloween. The food will be screaming at you. You don't have to listen. Food is not the boss of you. I am going to get shirts that say that. Campusmarketing.com. I hope you're listening. Food is not the boss of me. By the way, we're going to have insulated grocery bags that say, this bag is a carb-free zone. Woo! My marketing guru at campusmarketing.com is working on that. Also not a sponsor, but a friend. Okay, guys. Lindsay, I'm waiting for you to type it in. Did you type it in, child? Okay, maybe not. Or maybe she's too busy with the rest of her life to be able to fulfill orders. If so, let's talk later, child. And oh, there we go. It is letterseast.storeenvy.com. Okay, get that? letterseast.storeenvy.com. I think I said that right. But it's in the comments, so you'll be able to scroll down and see it. Okay, enjoy y'all Saturday. It's a beautiful day here. And like we say, if God's not a Tar Heel, why is the sky Carolina blue? Have a good one. You can get through this. Get through this Halloween. If you've not done it before, you will feel so proud of yourself, which is the way many of us have not felt in years. Feel proud of yourself. Imagine that. Food is not the boss of you. Food can scream at you, but you don't have to listen. Scream back at it and say, not this time. All right? Hasta la vista. Ciao. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao, Bella. That's for my daughter.